The Arab League is shutting down its monitoring mission in Syria. The league says the escalating violence there led to the decision to suspend the operation. The observers' inability to prevent scenes like, well, have a look at this one, may have forced the Arab League's hand. Activists say this video is from Homs. 8 members of the same family all killed, supposedly by Syrian security forces Thursday. CNN can't confirm the authenticity of this video. The opposition says a dozen people have been killed across the country today alone. Arwa Damon joins us now from neighboring Lebanon with more. Arwa, what does this mean? Do the observers leave?
Well, that's what we're going to have to wait and see. Does this mean that the mission is suspended after the Arab League has a list of demands it puts forward to both sides in trying to push their hand when it comes to ending the violence, or the monitor is immediately going to be withdrawn, which means that the Arab League will have no direct eyes on the ground when it comes to exactly what is transpiring inside the country. You were talking about that video from Homs just now, and I have to say, I've seen it, and it's some of the most chilling and nauseating images that we've seen coming out of the Syrian uprising. We have been seeing violence really increasing Thursday, Friday, both days' death tolls amongst the highest since this uprising began. And yesterday, we interviewed the head of the Arab League mission, Sudanese former General Mohammed al-Dabi, in Damascus. He didn't give any indication that the mission would be suspended, but even then, he did take note of the startling increase in violence.
The opposition considers that this is the end of the regime and that it has to escalate its actions. And the government side considers that the protocol gives it the right to crack down to stop the violence, no matter where the violence comes from, and therefore is reacting to what is happening. This is why the acts of hostilities have increased in the following days, which made us use a statement to urge all sides to stop the violence.
Of course, all of those efforts have, as the numbers would indicate, failed to stop the bloodshed. What we have now is a flurry of activity within the Arab League, within the United Nations, with the U.S. and other European countries trying to put forward their draft of a resolution. Russia, of course, wanting to put forward a significantly watered-down version of that. And all of this is going to be playing out in the United Nations next week, Jonathan.
Arwa, at some distance, it seems like the observer mission has become the center of the Arab League's attentions, almost as if the actual crackdown, the deaths in Syria are a secondary issue. Now, looking beyond whether the observer mission stays or goes, does the League have any plan to actually do something about Syria?
Well, the Arab League did put forward its roadmap to peace, per se, that would have seen the president give his powers over to the vice president, who then would be tasked with forming a national unity government that would pave the way for free and fair democratic elections. But the Syrian government came out very quickly and flat out rejected that proposal. That proposal is, in fact, part of the draft of the UN resolution that the U.S. and other European countries are trying to push forward, but there are great concerns that Russia would go ahead and veto that. And that really is the issue, Jonathan, in that all of this diplomatic back and forth and all of the maneuvers that we're seeing right now on a regional and on a global level, there is no solution that is proven to be viable for both sides, and that is the great challenge, is that both sides are so incredibly polarized, are so hardened against one another. The window for any sort of negotiation is perhaps already closed or closing incredibly quickly. And at this point, it seems like we're still in the diplomatic stage, and no one has yet figured out exactly what those pressure points are going to be to try to alter the current course that the Syrian uprising is on, a course that many people are saying, Jonathan, essentially going to lead the country into an even bloodier war.